This is like, I think this is like take 12 by this point. What's up guys, it's Mark from Enthusiasm Productions here with a first time ever top video. We're gonna go ahead and start 2020 by going back to 2019, and I'm gonna talk about the top 10 most inspirational things of 2019. Now I'm not gonna necessarily talk about top 10 builds, top 10 Gunpla of 2019, because let's be honest, I didn't really build much in 2019, and anything that I did build came after the summer. So instead of talking about top 10 builds, top 10 Gunpla, I didn't have enough. Let's save that for the end of this year, where in 2021, I could talk about the top 10 builds or top 10 Gunpla of 2020. Foreshadowing, baby. But before I continue, I want to take a minute to say thank you to those who did log in and hop on the live stream last week. It was fun, it was engaging, and to be honest, I'm probably gonna do another one of those sometime in the near future. I mean, shit, it was fun. But to be informed of when I do decide to put up another live stream, I would highly recommend, highly appreciate if you guys go on Instagram and follow me at Enthusiasm. And I know I push the Instagram a lot, but hey, I'm a content creator. That's what I do. In order for me to see growth here on this YouTube channel, I honestly would like to see more growth on my Instagram. Because honestly, this video wouldn't even be possible if it wasn't for all the action going down on Instagram. Not only will you know what I'm gonna do in the next live stream, but you'll also get to catch me put up some pictures of some really dope poses of some of my favorite high grades or even my recent builds. And you guys can get to see some behind the scenes things as far as build progress goes and pretty much what I'm doing behind this camera. So again, I'd really appreciate if you guys took the time to go follow me on Instagram at Enthusiasm. I'll have a link in the description below. But with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started with the first thing, and in no particular order. One of the 10 things that have inspired me in 2019 are new builders. And what I mean by new builders isn't just exactly like people who are just getting into the hobby to get into the hobby. I've discussed this before on my channel, but one of the biggest things that gives me the most satisfaction in this hobby and what keeps me going is bridging people who have never been interested in that hobby at all, suddenly grow interest, spark an interest, get into the hobby and enjoy it. Not only that, but use the hobby as a form of artistic outlet or therapeutic outlet, honestly. Gunpla is art. Just getting into Gunpla building, it can ease the mind. It can really take you out of like a really tight zone, if you know what I'm saying. And honestly guys, Gunpla building can be that escape for you. It can be that outlet for you to make sure you don't stay in your head. It keeps you focused on something. Honestly, if you have not built Gunpla before, I really encourage it. There's also no better feeling, as someone who's been in the hobby for as long as I have, there's no better feeling than seeing someone walk out of a store with a bag full of Gunpla and supplies and shit like that, and it really just takes you back to when you started too, you know what I mean? Ah man, that's such a good feeling. And honestly, throughout the Instagram community, I've met a lot of amazing builders. And amongst these new builders I've met on Instagram, I've met a lot of people who do amazing work. I've even met some people that I personally like to dub pose gods. And these pose gods are pretty much what inspired me to stay on Instagram and find an identity on Instagram. And they're also the next part of the list on this top 10. So pose gods, who are they? They're exactly what they sound like. In the realm of streetwear, you have what we call hype beasts. In the realm of Gunpla building though, I'm gonna call them pose gods. So these pose gods, and hey, maybe pose goddesses, because some of you guys on Instagram don't exactly show your face, you show your work, and that's more important. But some of these pose gods slash goddesses, they've done some of the most amazing and honestly the most inspiring things I've seen people do on their Gunpla. They really like to push the limits of their Gunpla to make them look the best in these poses. It's insane. It's straight up wild. And like I said, it helped me to find an identity on Instagram. And I thought back to it and I was like, people on YouTube know me for my posing or my ability to pose my Gunpla. And I just kind of took that to heart and I just started posing my Gunpla and taking pictures of them. And you know what? It's gotten me here. Not to say it's got me 1,000, 10,000 followers or anything, but it's definitely allowed me to see some growth on my Instagram page. So thank you. Which now leads to my third thing on this list, and it's just straight up posing Gunpla. Like for me, it's fun building Gunpla. Like there's no doubt about that. But I have way more fun posing them, and that could be true for maybe half of you. That's not discrediting the whole process. I love building Gunpla, don't get me wrong. I just love posing them. a tad bit more. It's up here, it's up here. And like I previously mentioned, just discovering the limits of the Gunpla, how far you can stretch this joint, how far you can stretch that joint to be able to achieve the kind of pose that you envision in your head. Can your Gunpla pull off what you envisioned? It's such a mental challenge, and I love trying to pull it off as best as I can possibly get the Gunpla to do. There's a fun in the challenge of being able to figure out whether the Gunpla can pose on the ground. You can easily pose a Gunpla on an action base 4 or 5. You know what, speaking of action base 4 and 5, this was a horrible transition, but that's the next thing on my list. And I know I'm behind on that, but when I discovered the action base 4 and 5, I just thought, it's just another action base. How can this be much better than action base 1 and 2 or the Tamashii stage axe? To be honest, I still prefer the Tamashii stage axe, but I will not deny how dope those action base 4s and 5s are as a Bandai action base that you can build and put together. There's so much versatility in these action bases, so many different options. It's amazing the type of flexibility you can get with just these action bases. And the only thing that makes me upset about them is the fact that I'm really late to the action base 4 and 5 game. I'm pretty sure you don't need me to tell you this, but if you don't have an action base 4 or 5 for your Gunpla, probably should go pick it up. Next on my list are the Gundam Universe figures. Not gonna lie, they're not the best figures that you can get your hands on, but my god, for the price and the fact that you can damn near get them everywhere. I've seen them at Target, Walmart, Walgreens, Barnes & Noble. For what they are, they're actually pretty good. And for me, because I just love posing my figures, these Gundam Universe figures, they're just so solid, and they're figures, they're actual figures, so you can pose them as much as you want without having to worry about a part snapping off and breaking so much that you have to put it back together with plastic cement or glue. The figures are literally made so that if something does fall off, you just pop it right back on. So far I only own 2, which is the Wing Gundam and the Death Scythe. But there are other figures in this line that stand out and are really good. And you have options. I believe there are at least 6 of them out officially now in the States, which include the RX-78, the Unicorn, and the Wing Gundam. And then the second wave, which includes Barbatos, Banshee, and Death Scythe. They still have yet to release the third wave, if I'm not mistaken, should include Wing Gundam Zero from Endless Waltz. But honestly, this line has been pretty exciting. They're fun to pose. The quality of the figures are amazing for their price point, anywhere between $25 to $27 depending on where you can get them. And the fact that there's at least 6 different ones you can choose from, and that they're easy to find, should be a no-brainer. Go pick them up. Now these next 5 on the list are going to be more people-centric, so let's get into it. Starting with friends of old. And what I mean by that is, if you're watching this video, you know who you are. You've been there since day 1. That's kind of an exaggeration. But if you've been there for even my prime time and you're still watching this video, I'm talking about you guys. Yes, I'm talking about you guys. You followed me on my early Versus Z. You followed me on Instagram. You're still here. You're still with me, and you're still supporting me. And I couldn't have a better fan base than you few who have stuck around ever since then. I love you. I appreciate you. These videos are for you guys. And if you're new here, you should just like and comment and subscribe to this video anyway, because I would like to grow here. Now, the next inspiration of 2019 is, well, these guys. Team Newtype has actually been, they started off as a small shop over in Hayward, and man, have they grown. Not just as like a store, but as a business and as a presence within the Gunpla community. They're sponsoring some of the biggest YouTubers in the Gunpla community. They've got a whole factory damn near to themselves now. They've got their own merch, and to be honest, they provide a plethora of not just Gunpla, but supplies, accessories, anything to help you do you and be better and grow as a Gunpla builder. And honestly, thanks to Team Newtype, we had our first convention dedicated to Gunpla building, at least here in the Bay Area. They called it BuildCon. It's literally a convention where it isn't like competitive or contest centric. And even though I was only there for the second day on the Sunday, which is honestly the not so exciting day, I would have loved to have experienced it 2 days in a row, to see people there just connecting, doing builds on the spot. There was a speed build contest. You saw works that you may have only seen on Instagram on display, notably TR13. They also had merchandise from Newtype Official, which unfortunately is in the laundry right now. I was gonna wear it, but I couldn't get it cleaned on time for this video. But hey, if you were there, if you know exactly what hoodie I'm talking about, it's honestly one of the best hoodies I've ever worn. It's super comfortable, super stylish. So if you're a hype beast slash pose god, I feel like this is a necessary to must. You gotta have one of these. You gotta have one of these hoodies. You're sleeping on them if you don't have them. And me personally, I opted for the white and gray one. It was clean. I honestly wanted the black one or the navy one, but they didn't have my size in the black ones. And honestly, I'm glad, because the white one, honestly, I look good in it. I mean, come on, look at me. Like I'm always in black, and I thought to myself, like, maybe let me switch it up this time. I'm just glad that I had the right pants and the right shoes. But yeah, going off track here, BuildCon was dope. Even though I was only there for a couple hours, I did walk away with some new sanding sticks, which I obviously intend to use. I did walk away with the Newtype official sweater. Again, I wish I was here showing it to you guys. It's super clean. Maybe next time on another video. Most importantly, I got to meet the Crow-sama. Yes, the Crow-sama. I honestly was already interested in going to BuildCon because it was one of those first time ever things, and it's happening within San Francisco. But when I saw that the Crow-sama was going to be one of the guests, that solidified my ticket. That solidified my visit. Whether it was going to be Saturday or Sunday, I needed to make sure that I was there because I really wanted to meet this guy and chop it up with him, and you know, and get to know him a little bit more on a personal level, rather than just literally worlds apart and only through a camera and only through, like, you know, the interwebs and whatnot. And yes, I met him, we talked, and it was dope. Yeah, I'm at a loss for words. It's horrible, but it was definitely inspiring. So speaking of inspirational people, I'm down to my last one, and everything else before this one has made a huge impact on me in 2019, but this one is probably the biggest of them all, to be honest. And you've already seen her in a few of my videos. You guys already know who she is. Not to see her real name on camera, but we know her as B. Not only has she been a huge inspiration on Gunpla building, and just this as an entirety, but she's also been a big inspiration on just me and my own personal growth as well, outside of Gunpla and all this. And aside from all that, she's actually been a part of all the other top 9 things in this that I've listed. Like, she's part of the new building process. She's been part of the Friends of Old section. Honestly, she was there for Newtype. She was there for BuildCon as well, and she was there for meeting the Crow-sama. And to be honest, it's been kind of getting tough just referring to her as she and my friend and whatnot. So before I continue, I want to just take 1 minute to ask a question. You want to just make it official now? I mean, like,
on your video.
Yeah, on my video. You know, it's on the 22nd.
Yeah, that was good. That's not fair.
Okay. There you have it. There it is, you guys. It's official on camera. The 22nd. So yay me, yay us. So yeah, all in all, she's been a huge part of my personal growth within the last year, and I can't be more thankful and happy that she's on board. Welcome to the newly acquainted VP of Enthusiasm Productions. Like, if I was Tony Stark, she's Pepper Potts, so whatever the hell that was, that's what she is. So welcome to the team. Welcome to Enthusiasm Productions. But yeah, guys, so those are my top 10 most inspirational things of 2019. Look forward to more videos just like this in 2020. Don't forget to go follow me on Instagram @Enthusiasm. Like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell button so you guys know when I'm going to post a new video here on YouTube. And until then, I apologize because this is such an abrupt ending, but this has been a long video and I got a lot to edit. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.